So today what we were going to talk about, or what we are going to talk about, is actually SpeedGrader, and then we're going to go over rubrics. So first I'm going to talk about SpeedGrader. I'll show it to you on the computer and some of the things that you can do with it. And then I will show you SpeedGrader on the iPad because it's actually a pretty cool platform for grading. And then after that, I will give a demonstration on how you can set up rubrics and use rubrics for your grading. So to start off with, I have to actually navigate to my classes. Now we'll notice up here that I have this nifty to-do list, and I can see that I have a submission in one of my classes that I need to grade. So it says grade SpeedGrader example assignment, and then there's a little 1 to indicate that there's one ungraded assignment in there. So I'm just going to click on this, but I could also, if I wanted to, go to my class itself, and I could go to the assignment, and I can click on it, and then my SpeedGrader button is right up here, and it'll tell you that there's 0 out of 1 submissions graded. So I had 1 submission. That's my SpeedGrader button. I can click that, but instead I'm just going to go back to my dashboard and click this. And this actually brings me directly into my SpeedGrader, which is kind of why I wanted to show you first how you could get to it if you didn't use the to-do list. So again, go to the assignment, click on SpeedGrader in the top right corner, or click on your to-do list and it'll open up. So now that I'm in here, this is the view that I have. So at the top, it is going to tell me that my student here, so test student, is the one that submitted it. If I wanted to switch between students, I could either click the arrow right, and Michelle hasn't submitted anything, or left, and scroll through the list, but I can also click this little arrow right here and select my students from here. So if I want to go to a specific student that submitted something, I can click on their name from here. Okay. Now, down here, there is a download area, so you can actually download the file that they submitted to you. If you wanted to, like, download them and print them off or save another copy. Right here, it says how much the assignment is out of, and then there's a box for me to type in my score. However, if I used my rubric, which I'll show you how to set these up here during the second part of today, I can click on View Rubric, and then it pops my rubric up. Now, obviously, this isn't a very good or detailed rubric. I just made this for example purposes, but there is ways that I can click the scores and everything like that. And then finally, down here, I have an area to leave comments. So let's say I'm going to be grading this paper and I want to use my SpeedGrader. I have a number of tools along here at the top that I can use to mark up on this paper. So if I hover over here, there's a point annotation. And what that lets me do is drop a point, and I can change the color of it anywhere on the page. So I'm going to drop a point right there. And then I can actually type in a comment like logins. And I can leave that there. So then when the student hovers over that, it'll lead a line out to there. I can also do a highlighter. So if I want to highlight an area, I click the little highlighter button up here, and I can highlight over what they submitted, and then it even gives me a little text option over here to leave a comment. So great job. There is a free text annotation. So if I click this little T up here, I can change the color, I can change the size, and I can actually just click anywhere on the document and type free comments. So this is wonderful work. And as you can see, it leaves text up there. And by the way, the student will see all of these annotations that you make. Here you have a strikeout annotation, so you can highlight something and strike it out. Like, I don't want all of this information, I just want checklist. And again, you can make a comment. And then finally, there's free draw if you want to use this. You can, like, circle something if you want. And right now I'm just clicking on my mouse and, wrapping it around. And of course I can change the color, I can change the thickness. And if I want to get rid of anything, I can hit the delete button. And then there's the comment key over here. So this is a very cool way to grade papers digitally. And it's actually probably one of my favorite features of Canvas. So now that I've made my annotations and I've gone through it, I can come over here and I can actually select items on my rubric in order to grade it automatically. So let's say criteria 1, I think they did above average. Criteria 2, it was only acceptable. So all I'm doing here is clicking on the rubric itself. I can do 4 points for the next one. And then let's say the last one was just that they had to have their name on it. Oh, no name, I'm going to give them a 1. Additionally, you'll notice that on the side, it will automatically fill in the points. And I can click and drag this, by the way, to make it bigger. I'm going to make mine a little bigger here. It automatically fills out the points. So it said 11 out of 16 points. It automatically adds your scores over here. And then additionally, under each one, you have a little comment area to leave additional feedback. So I can click on this feedback area here and say, you didn't put your name on this. And so then when the student comes in and they see their rubric, they'll see that I left this little message under there to explain why they got 1 out of 4. And then finally, the last part of SpeedGrader is down here, the little comments area. So this is an area where you can type in overall feedback. So if you're not providing annotation, you can have overall feedback like, please see me, or something like that. Additionally, you can choose to upload files to this. So if you want to attach a file, you can. I'm not going to be able to demonstrate this, but if you watch my first video, or maybe it's my second video, I don't remember, where I talked about media comments and how you can record a quick video message and plug it onto a page. Well, here's that exact same tool here in SpeedGrader. So if I wanted to, I could record myself live explaining things to the students. So literally record a video and attach it right to SpeedGrader. And then this one is speech recognition. So it allows you to do all that. So I've got my comments here. By the way, I forgot to mention that I have to hit save on my rubric. So I saved my rubric. I put my score. I can still add comments even after I've saved the rubric.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
I noticed, so it's total points after you've plugged in the points on the rubric.
Right. Is
there a way to have it average it? Or
it just does total points. Canvas was kind of David, I was just about to get to that. David asked about the through message bubble. Down here where you can assign your comments area, the last part that I was going to show you for assignment comments is this little speech bubble thing right here that has the 3. And the reason it says 3 is because this is an area where you can actually add canned comments. So if you have a comment that you use pretty frequently, you can add them to this list. If you want to come down here, you can type in your new canned comment. So you did a stellar job. And obviously your feedback would be much better than the ones from this video, but you get the idea. I put you did a stellar job. I could do add to library. Now I've got things in my comment library. As I'm going through SpeedGrader, all I have to do is click in it, click the little box, I can select something, and it will automatically upload my comments in here. Once I am done with everything and I'm ready to submit it to my student, I can hit the submit button right here, and what that does is it notifies the student that their assignment has been graded. They're able to go in, click on the assignment, and they will see all of this feedback. And I'm not actually going to hit submit right now because I do want to show you SpeedGrader on the iPad real quick. Are there any questions about computer-based SpeedGrader so far? Okay, real quick, I'm just going to transition over to the iPad. Now, I will say, when it comes to building and doing things in Canvas, I actually usually prefer to do things on the computer. So there is a Canvas teacher app, but I actually much prefer to build my classes and maintain my classes on the computer. It's just kind of the way that my brain works. But there's one exception to that rule, and that is actually the SpeedGrader within the Canvas teacher app. So if I go over, where's my Canvas teacher at? Ah, here it is. So it's this yellow Canvas logo that says teacher, so I'll click on that. And now I've got my to-do list down here, so I'm just going to go there. Oh, it already thinks that I graded that assignment. I'm going to back out of that. Let's go to my class. So it's example class, and then modules. Okay, SpeedGrader assignment example. From SpeedGrader, you have very much the same like tools and everything on here as you do in SpeedGrader on the iPad, but the thing I like about this is the portability. So if I take and pinch my fingers, I can actually zoom in real quick on my document. So if I want to zoom in on something, I can. I've got the same tools as in the computer, and then I just literally use my finger to like, you know, tap where the text can go. So like if I hit the T, I tap, I can type something in. There is, you know, all those same functions. And then same thing over here, you actually don't have to put your, you don't have to click the view rubric button, it just shows up automatically. And then you can tap the scores, it gives you the information. I just put criteria. And then you can even leave your comments just like before by hitting the button over there. If you want to leave comments like in the computer, you can go to the comments area and you can add comments just the same. Now, the one downside to this, and maybe someone will find a way to do this, but as far as I know, I am not able to find a way to use my canned comments in the iPad app. If anybody ever finds a way to do that, please email me and let me know, and I can update this video and update my instructions to show that. But yeah, this comments area right here, I can't find a way to do my canned comments on here. But that's the only downside. You know, you get drugged somewhere that you are, you know, bored out of your mind and you're just messing on your phone. Boom, you can do all your grading right here on an iPad. And I actually, yeah, go ahead.
If you go back to where you were, what does that plus sign do? Maybe that plus sign is a way to rebank these.
Sorry. The plus sign actually just allows you to pick a custom score. So if I do that,
go to the comments again.
Comments, okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. The plus sign down here is actually just attachments.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was another way to start banking them from that.
Yeah. I did check that, and that's my fault. I should have mentioned that. I think I forgot to explain that. But yeah, the plus button down here is how you can attach things. So good catch. And then there's a files area over here that shows you what files that are attached. But yeah, I haven't been able to find a way, and I'm hoping I'm able to at some point because it'd be really nice. But I just like for the iPad version, I just like the portability. I like how quick it is. I like how you don't have to carry a big stack of stuff or your laptop around with you. I had professors when I was at Creighton that they even graded stuff on their phone. And so it was pretty neat. You know, they literally, if they're sitting bored at some like event they're forced to go to, and they just whip out their phone and they can work on their grading and things like that. So it's really neat. I like how quick it works. I actually like it a little better for leaving annotations because, like I said, you just pinch your fingers and you can zoom in on a document, and all you have to do is select the tool and tap on the screen. So it's really neat. It's probably the only exception to my rule that I generally prefer the computer version of Canvas. Do we have any final questions on the iPad app or SpeedGrader in general before I move on to Rubrics?
So on the comments thing on the iPad app, there's a blue up sign, and I don't know what that does because it's grayed out for me.
Where is it located? I apologize.
So on the let me see if I can do this right here, like on whenever you go to make a comment. It's like a little blue up arrow.
Oh, I think that becomes visible once you type in a comment.
Oh, okay.
So it's how you send the comment. But great question. So now that we're back in here, I've shown you how rubrics are utilized, and now what I want to do is actually show you how you can set up a rubric. So I'm going to back out of SpeedGrader. The way to do that is to just like click the assignment up here. Let me go to a blank assignment here real quick. So when you click on the assignment, it's kind of counterintuitive because normally you would think you have to hit edit, but Canvas actually treats rubrics as its own separate thing. So if you come over here, you can actually see that you have a rubrics area that's its own separate thing. So to add a rubric, what I'm going to do is hit the plus rubric button. Now, if I had pre-built my rubrics, like let's say I went to the rubrics area here, I hit add a rubric and I pre-built my rubrics. We can see the rubric I made earlier today for that other assignment. So when I hit plus rubric, I would actually be able to click this find a rubric button, and it would bring up my rubrics that I had created and any rubrics that are shared with you. And you could click use this rubric and it would automatically plug your rubric in here. But in this case, I want to build a new one. So I'm going to do test assignment rubric. In order to edit the areas of the rubric, you can hit the little pencil icon, give it a title like, description of criteria, and then you have an area here to give it an even longer description. So update criteria, you can see this. Over here, this is all customizable. So you can hit the pencil icon to assign points, give it a title, and even a description. So obviously my example rubrics today were very quickly made, but in a regular assignment, you can really use this to make a proper rubric. So I'll just say full marks, you did great, nothing wrong here. Update rating, and then as you can see, it gives it its title, it gives it this. I'm just going to leave it at 5 points. If I want to add additional things in between these two areas, I can hit this plus button in the middle to add different areas. So I'll just put average. And again, I can put in a description, but I'm not going to. I'll just hit update reading. So let's say I just want to do these 3. This area down here is automatically filled in based on however many your top points are. When I'm ready to add another area of criteria, I can hit the plus criterion button down here, and I can either choose to duplicate the one I already made, which is good if you're like creating a rubric that has a lot of similar elements, but that will make an exact copy of this one, and then you're able to go in and edit it. But then additionally, if I want something completely different, I can hit new criterion, and I'll put, was your name on your paper? So I create that, and then I start back from square one. So I'm just going to put average for this one as well. So that's how you can kind of update the points, and you can update all this stuff. If the points don't match what you put up here in the assignment to what's in the rubric, when you go to submit or create the rubric, it will ask you if it wants you to change, or if you want it to change the total points of the assignment to what you put in your rubric. So that's kind of neat. It's very automatic. Finally, the last part before I'm done with my rubric is I have some options down here. I don't know why this is optional, because I don't know what the point of this rubric would be if you weren't going to do this, but the one box you're going to want to remember to use if you're planning on using rubrics in SpeedGrader is you're going to want to remember to check this box that says use this rubric for assignment grading. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to use the rubric in SpeedGrader. If I had a Learning Mastery gradebook, which is a topic I'll cover in 2 weeks, I would be able to post outcomes to here. I could have a pointless rubric and then free-form comments when assessing students. I'm not sure what that really does, because I've checked it and unchecked it, and I was still able to do everything in SpeedGrader. So usually the only box I use is use this rubric for assignment grading. Then I'll hit create rubric. It's asking me if it wants me to change my assignment. I'm just going to say leave different. So my points say none and my rubric says 10. And then this rubric should show up in my rubrics area. And so if I have like a general rubric for like, say, my bell work or something, or maybe I have a weekly discussion that's graded the same each week, it's very easy to go in and whenever you create an assignment, hit the plus rubric button and then pull that rubric in from your rubrics page. So, you can use the same rubric over and over again. And then when you copy your course for next year, all of your rubrics will come with it, and any assignment that you attach the rubric to will still have that rubric attached to it. So it's really neat. a lot of work up front creating all these rubrics and attaching them to everything, but once you do it once, you don't have to do it again, which is really nice. I really enjoy that part. Questions about rubrics?
So I think that I had, you said you didn't know why you wouldn't have that box checked. One thing I've done is I think I unchecked that box and I didn't know that I didn't have that box checked. And so like whenever it would calculate the score for me, but then I would put the number into the actual grade area.
Oh.
So it might help. Someone else had asked about taking the average or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be easier to do that, but you could also like just do the calculation on your calculator or something like that and plug it in.
Yeah, totally. That's actually a great idea. So what you're saying is you could check that box, fill out the rubric, and then still put in your own score at the top. That's really cool. I like that. So good to know. That could be a great way to get around the whole point system that they use in Canvas versus our skills-based stuff. Any other questions?
The only, so like I tried the Office 365 LTI to have my students turn something in, and I think that if you do that, you can't use the rubrics because it has to be either a file submission or like two other things in order to use the rubric, even though it is a file if you're attaching something from Office 365. It's not the same thing. So
okay, that's good to know. I'll have to play around with that. I'll see if maybe there's a setting in the back end that's causing that to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at the website and that's what they said on the website, like in general. So I don't know if it's a new thing.
Well, hopefully they fix that. That's kind of annoying, especially since our students will be on iPads and will probably use the OneDrive more than actual files.
Yeah.
But I'll do some digging. Hopefully we can give some feedback and have them fix it. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you for stopping in, everybody. Have a good weekend, and we will maybe see you in 2 weeks when we go over. I think the topic is learning mastery paths, which are pretty cool. So have a good night, everyone.